Okay, hey guys, Jono here from Perma Performance. So today we're going to run Luke, a keen cyclist from Cycle Exchange itself, through our assessment session, which is our first point of entry for any client coming into the business. So the reason we run through this test is so the coach gets to spend a little bit of time with the client, working through just some basic movement patterns, gaining a little bit of an understanding of where that person's starting from. We're going to follow that up with some capacity stuff, so where we get Luke to take a test or an exercise to a point of fatigue, and again we're just observing that and just looking at any potential asymmetries, right side, left side, and his performance through that task. And then we're going to finish up with some objective measures using the force plates later on, and we'll just communicate with Luke about how that relates to cycling itself and why it might be important to track certain metrics across time. So first thing we're going to do in a session is just to get Luke to jump on the bike and just do a little 3-minute warm-up just to raise his heart rate, and then we're going to lead into some mobility stuff after that. Right, Luke, so just follow my lead here. Let's jump ourselves down to the floor and just get yourself organised. This is what we call like a 90-90 position. So front hip 90 degrees, bottom hip 90 degrees. Heels stay down, and you can use your arms as a bit of support, and just lift the knees in front of the body and rotate to the other side. Perfect. So I'm just taking the hip through some rotation and just let that flow. Perfect. Nice, dude. There you go. So you can bring your hands off if you want, but just let that movement flow. Just go back and forth, keep the heels down. Nice. Yeah, so 10 more seconds. Good, dude, perfect, nice. Cool, and then one more rep each side. And then from there, spin yourself around so you face me and just transition to like what we call like a lunge stride. So 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, and just get really tall and really long through that posture. So if I go 3/4 to you, back leg is nice and extended. Take your left hand and just reach, open, and all the way down to the hip. And then just give me nice long sweeping rotations through that left hand for you. Perfect, dude. Nice. Don't overthink it. Just keep your body still. You can keep the pace quite high here. And just think about keeping your body nice and still and just exploring movement with that shoulder. And you can get your eyes following that hand as well. Nice, dude. Perfect. Good. A few more reps. I'm not even going to count reps, man. We're going to freestyle today. Let's have a little switch, dude. Nice. So same again, just get nice and tall, nice and long through your posture. Good. And then just think about keeping your lower body nice and still, and then just generating some rotation and some movement through that shoulder. You don't get any discomfort here, right, through the shoulder? No. Get any clicking?
No.
No?
Actually fine.
Good, so 2 more reps. Nice, dude. And then from there, bring yourself back up to standing. So just get yourself organised in a split stance. So it doesn't really matter which leg's out in front. If I go 3/4 to you as well. Just feel balanced here. So this is a little bit more front foot dominant. It's a little bit more back foot. I just want you to feel balanced. Good, arms out in front. Keep one arm perfectly still. Keep the lower body still and just open up. Come back to center. Do the same thing opposite side. So as you're developing some rotation, can you keep the lower body nice and still? That's your job. Nice, good. And then you're gonna get your eyes to follow the hand. Good, you're going to be like a statue with the lower body, stay nice and still. Maybe sink down a little bit deeper now, get into some more challenging angles. Oh, he doesn't like it down there. One more. Nice, cool, and then let's switch our sides over. So I say all of this stuff as well, like the moment I get Luke to move, I'm also just looking, I'm getting to observe just his general movement here. And you can start to build some understanding, you've got your coach's eye on, and you can always start to feel you know, what might be going on here. Obviously, if this is a first exposure for Luke doing this task, he's going to be limited by skill anyway. So some of what we're seeing is just me not giving him any feedback, but also I might start to pick up on some things that I might want to look at in future training as well. Cool, rest there. Bring yourself up to standing. So next task, just a little reverse lunge. So pick a leg, keep one leg static. As you step, keep your body weight on your front leg all the way to the floor. And then can you stabilize in this single leg hip lock? So plant, drop, and drive out strong to that statue position. Same again. Yeah, good. And just see if you can start to sink down to some deeper lunges as well. Yeah, so really helpful maybe to find the floor with the toe to start with, and then use that back foot as a bit of a brake to get all the way back down. So search for the floor. Then you've got an opportunity to lower. There you go, nice. And then I want you to bring some speed to that movement. And I want you to drive out aggressively of this left hip. Whoa, so the moment we start to add a bit of speed, we start to see a few more things. Good, one more rep. Solid, dude. Let's have the same again on the other side, really good. Yeah, so I would say, yeah, find the floor with that back foot first. So toe down, and then you've got an opportunity to break. You'll find it's a bit more stable. There you go. Nice. Solid, dude. And again, I want you finishing nice and tall out of the hip. Imagine there's kind of a piece of string pulling your head towards the ceiling to finish. Good, couple more. Cool, last rep. All right, good stuff. So warm up over. All good, feel warm?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So like next little step for us is just to take Luke through 3 really simple movements. Again, I'm not going to over coach these movements. I'm just going to present the task to him. And I'm just going to give him an opportunity to set up how he would set up. And then we're just going to look at that movement at its rawest quality. And then I can always intervene and give you some more coaching feedback if we need to. So first thing I want you to do is just, if you were going to squat, where would you kind of place your feet? Just place your feet where you feel comfortable. Nice. And just chuck your arms out in front. And just whenever you're ready, just descend into a nice body weight squat. Cool. And then just keep repeating that. Nice. So all I'm looking at through, all I'm looking at, I'll give him some feedback at the end of this as well. So 2 more. Nice, dude. And then 1 more rep. Cool. And then all I'm going to do, just give you a little bit of counterbalance. So keep the weight nice and close to your body and just produce that same movement again. Go 5 reps. Cool. And then same again. Nice. Yeah, solid, dude. Really good. Nice. And then last rep. Nice. Cool. So in that squat task, I'm literally just observing like your ability to triple bend, so triple flex the ankle, the knee and the hip, and get into a decent depth of movement. So we did body weight to start with. So again, we look at it without the use of any external stability or counterbalance. And actually your movement quality was really good. I didn't coach you in terms of where you like to set up. I just went, go for it. So you adopted quite a narrow stance. It's not wrong. It's just where you like to be, just because you've been told no different than that, right? But yeah. Ultimately, like a squat task for us is going to be just about achieving balance. So if you're in this setup here with quite a narrow 12 o'clock position and you feel as you descend to deeper depths that you're forward, we probably would then look at maybe this alteration of either width or a little bit of external rotation of the hips just to give you some bias and a better means of staying more stable, more balanced. The other thing is when I gave you a counterbalance, the movement cleaned up, right? Yeah. It's because actually you've got something to kind of give you some external stability. So often for people, picture this scenario, right? So if I got someone to bodyweight squat and as they went down, they kind of like folded up like an accordion, but I changed nothing. I gave them some external load and then the movement is looking good. I haven't changed anything. I've just given them some feedback and some external stability to the point where they can produce a broader range of movement. So often what people feel is like a limitation in mobility. So someone might say, oh, I can't get into a deep squat or whatever it is. And we see body weight, their inability to get into that position. But then we give them some load, no coaching, and then all of a sudden the movement cleans up. It might not be a mobility limitation, right? What might actually be at play is like this need for external stability. And that's just your brain playing a trick on you, right? So remember, like your brain's gonna not let you get into a position of perceived threat. Yeah. Right? So if we can decrease that threat and give it some external stability and some feedback, and all of a sudden the movement improves, what was probably not a mobility problem has gone out the window. Yeah. Yeah? So all we know from you there, good ability to triple bend, no problem, zero pain, we're good to go. Yeah? Just standing nice and tall. Let's have a little look at your shoulder flexion. So just raise your arms above your head. How far can you get? Nice. And again. What's your injured side? Right side? Right side. Oh, interesting. Okay, cool. Nice. And again. Cool. So at its purest value, I'm just looking at like basically how much shoulder flexion you can create. Yeah. You're under gravity right now in a standing position. I'm going to give you some feedback. What I want you to do is like now be aware of, as your arms raise up further, of not breaking this position down. Okay. Right, so think about kind of keeping your rib cage locked down towards your hips and then show me what you've got in that position with a little bit more feedback. Cool, nice. Yeah, you can kind of feel yourself hitching on it, right? So just kind of, yeah, a few more reps like that. Yeah, you've actually got, weirdly, do you feel any limitation at the front of the shoulder?
Yeah.
A little bit of pinching here.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And as a result of your most recent injury, you probably expect a little bit of discomfort as the arms raise overhead. But actually, interestingly, like you probably presented with a little bit more range there.
Yeah.
But again, the reason I gave you that feedback is so that I'm looking at the movement here.
Yeah.
So at the shoulder joint and through the scap, as opposed to just allowing you to drift somewhere where you're getting that range from somewhere else.
Yeah.
And you get a bit more of a purer reflection in terms of what someone's got available. But no problems there. Just the only noticeable thing is there's like a minor difference in right to left.
Yeah.
That's it. So next little task, let me grab this bar. So I'm not going to give you any kind of coaching guidance here. I'm just going to visually show you the exercise and just see if you can produce the movement I show you. So actually I'll give you a couple of points. So take about a hip width stance and the knees are soft. So and the bar stays close. Got 3 tips. Hip width, knees soft, bar close. Can you produce that movement?
So positions to
It doesn't really matter where the bar ends up. I'm just looking at, I'll tell you what I'm looking at after the test. So about hip width, knees are soft, and then can you produce that movement that I showed you? Nice, good. He's thinking about it. He's like, am I doing it wrong? Shit. He's really thinking about it. Good, 2 more, nice. Cool, 1 more. Nice. It's not a heavy bar, right? So it's not challenging. All I'm looking at is like, so that's a hip hinge, right? You've probably kind of heard of something like that before.
Yeah.
Like whenever we kind of talk to clients, like training really in a weight room is about keeping certain parts of your body still and moving somewhere else. So all I was looking at there is, can you disassociate movement between your torso and your hips? Okay. Can your body stay still as you move through your hips?
Yeah.
The answer is yes. And that's for a lot of deadlift variation and more hinge style movements, we need that ability, right? The ability to shift work through the hips and minimize disruption to the torso as you're working through a loaded task. Because you just got to think, when all you're doing is you're holding onto something, is what's that doing to your upper body?
Yeah.
It just wants to pull you somewhere you don't want to be.
Yeah.
So therefore, can we resist that and continue to work through the hips? And the answer is yes, no problems. That's the easy bit done, right? That's the easy bit done. So what we've gone through there with Luke is just a really basic 3-position movement screen where we just took him through a squat, some shoulder flexion and the ability to hip hinge. We didn't see anything glaring, but we're not also giving him a lot of information. I'm just looking at it from its rawest value. And it's never good or bad or pass or fail. It's just take the movement for what it is. And if it needs to be coached further, then that's when we can expand. But we're just looking at his basically movement potential from a very raw form there. So next part we're going to move on to, it's going to get a little bit more tricky for you. We're going to call this our little kind of capacity section. So we're going to demonstrate a task to Luke, and we're going to ask him to perform it to a point where either we can't anymore, or I deem that the movement quality or the speed or the range has dropped off. Okay. Make sense? Yep. But again, not my job here to coach you through the movement. I'm just going to see it at its worst, if you like, and we're just going to see what you're capable of doing. Yeah? Okay, so first task, we're going to use the bench. Can I just set up anywhere and you just... Yeah, is that right? Cool. So a little single leg squat to the bench. Okay. All right, now I can always bring the bench up to you to make life a little bit easier for you. So that actually, what you've got to do here is quite a broad range of movement. Yeah. So let's see it, if we're capable of just doing 1 rep to start with, and then I can always regress it if we need to. So task is close to the bench on 1 foot, arms as counterbalance. Can you light tap, stand? Let's just sign that off each side. Sign it off each side. Arms as counterbalance, single leg stance, and just a nice light contact and a stand. Left side. Light contact and stand. He's all good. So we can complete the task, no problem there. So now, pick a leg to start on, and I'm just going to ask you to perform that task with a relatively steady tempo or cadence. So just think about maybe 1 second down, 1 second up. I'll give you some feedback as you're working. If your movement quality is dropping off, I'll say something. I'll give you some feedback. Okay. If you lose position a couple of times, you have to tap that down. That's all good. If I feel like there's more work, I'll just say keep on going, and literally just try and do as much work as we can. Cool. Yeah. So pick a leg to start on, and then off you go when you're ready, dude. So light contact and stand, and I just want you thinking about standing nice and tall out of the hip. Cool, and just let it flow. If you lose position, no problems. Nice, and again. Yeah, nice, solid Luke. Good. Yeah, keep going, dude, don't worry. Solid, man, good, keep going. Nice, keep going. Yeah, keep your contact nice and light, keep working. He wants to stop, but I'm not letting him stop. Keep going, dude, keep going. Solid, nice, and again. Nice, quality, and again, keep going. Keep the tempo consistent. Yeah, good, there's still a bit more work in there. Solid, really good. Good, keep going, there's still more work. Solid, dude, really good. Light contact, stand. Keep going, keep going. And we're gonna rest there. Cool, good job, man. Take a breather. I'd probably encourage a little bit more work than maybe you would have got to. So once you've done both sides, I'll just give you a little bit of feedback in terms of why we look at this test. But I don't want to give you too much information right now because then you're just going to overthink about it, right? And then you're just going to compensate somehow, exactly. So let's go left leg when you're ready. So same task again, just use your counterbalance, arms counterbalance, contact and drive, nice. Cool. And again, just keep working, find a steady pace. Nice. Yeah, solid, dude, really good. Just nice and tall out of the hips, keep pushing up, there you go. Solid, dude, really good, nice. Cool. No contribution from the other leg, keep working, nice. Yeah, solid Luke, light contact, stand tall. Brilliant, man, good, keep going. Nice. Keep going, there's a bit more work, I think we're good. Cool. Rest. Couple of reps difference, right? But it would take, again, like we're taking at it at its raw value, right? I could have asked you to carry on there, you would have been fine. Tough task, right? Yeah. So obviously, like the moment that we lift the leg, you've got one less point of contact, right? So stability demand goes up through the roof there, right? So in that task there, that single leg squat, I'm just exposing the body to a task that where you have to, like high stability demand, you have to stabilize. And we just get a really good look at kind of what happens at the foot, the knee and the hip as you try and coordinate that triple bend, right? We know you've got a lot of range because we've already seen it in your squat. So it's just about in that dynamic task, how well you do at coordinating that task. And, you know, you pick up on things like, okay, so often people demonize this kind of valgus position of the knee and where the knee, but the knee will follow what kind of the foot does and what the hip does. So we're not saying that knee in position is appropriate and then it's dose dependent as well, right? And activity dependent, but this happens as a result of a loss of foot position, right? Yeah. So in that single leg, I just get a really good example of where you like to set up and how well that foot and the hip does at having to produce a lot of stability to keep the knee relatively stable. But yeah, all we're looking at there is, I don't really care about the number. Well, that's a lie. I care more about the differences, right? Or if there's a really pronounced difference right side, left side, that would be a line of inquiry in terms of why there is such a pronounced difference. Asymmetries are very normal. I think people have this really wild expectation that we're very, very symmetrical beings. We're not. We're asymmetrical beings. It's just more about like if I think you got like 18 reps on the right side. If you got like 2 on the left side, I would then just go, okay, well, how do we maybe look at improving that? And you might lean into something that has a little bit more of a unilateral single leg as an intervention, right, to try and improve that. You're still going to get some effects off a double leg training, but the point is you're mostly observing, or we're mostly observing any potential asymmetries. Make sense? Yes. Grab yourself some floor space, push-ups. So I'm not coaching you in terms of setup, right? Yeah. All I'm looking at here, just a steady cadence and tempo. Again, we're taking this to fatigue. Okay. We're just trying to be consistent with a range of movement. So imagine there's a fist on the floor, and yeah, you're going to try and, so you can set yourself up however you like, contact and full extension of the arms at the top. Cool. Take it away. Cool. Easy work, easy work. So I'm not coaching hand setup or foot setup, I'm just observing where he likes to set up, and then he's going to take it away when he's ready. A little bit more depth, good. And then just find a nice steady cadence, good Luke, nice. Solid dude. Yeah, keep working, nice. Shoulder okay? Yeah? Nice. Good man. Good, keep working. Yeah, keep good. You're good. Let's rest. Let's rest. Any discomfort?
No.
No, you're good?
Yeah.
You've been doing, like, you've had a little bit of upper body push work. So like, it's quite a crude examination, but a simple examination of just a basic upper body push. But actually in a push-up, like most people forget that actually like your torso and your hips are quite like heavily involved there. So again, like if I'd given you the feedback early on, you would have built some awareness of that. So you might have felt it, but basically there was this kind of a little bit of a drop in hip position. It kind of got a bit more aggressive as you just naturally building fatigue. Yeah. And so actually like in a push-up or later on I've already given you some feedback later on, right? But actually like you kind of want this idea of the body moving like as a synchronized unit. So we want shoulders and hips to descend together and stay on the same plane, so that we just are able to maintain a better position. And ultimately for you, that means that the load is going somewhere where we want it and not somewhere where we don't want it. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah? Yeah? So it's just a little observation there, like great demonstration of just basic upper body strength, but just, I think it's an easy win for me to give you some feedback and just improve that position a little bit more. Yeah? Yeah? Cool, right, back onto your feet. So for this, through these, we've got a little series of trunk holds, so static holds, where you're in charge, you're just going for duration, as long as possible. Remember, you're in charge, not me. So I'll demonstrate the first one, and I'm gonna be your anchor. So basically, we've got essentially 4 tests. Something that places some stress on your front line, anterior side, lateral or side, and then posterior. And we're just looking at your ability to hold that position for duration. I don't care about the time. I'll tell you about what I care about after we've done the test, but I'll show you to start with. So on the bench, basically I'm gonna be my own anchor to start with, right? So positionally, get your bum to the top of the bench, and when you come to it, legs are gonna be straight for you, and I'm gonna be an anchor here. So I'm going to be pressing your ankles down. So lower body's stable, right? You're not going anywhere. Just for now, I'm providing my own anchor. Shoulders back, so that shoulders are above the line of the hips. Just nice and tall, nice and long. Chin tuck, arms wherever you feel comfortable, and hold. Okay. Moment you're done, just sit yourself up. And it's just duration. Okay. Yeah? So I'll give you a little exposure, and then we can mark it with the time. So get yourself organised on the bench. I'll just give you literally a couple of seconds of exposure to it, so you get a feel for it. So legs go straight, nice, and then feet together. And there's a little bit of value in kind of pulling the toes towards you like that. Bum's in contact, right? Yeah. Yeah, cool. So I'm going to be here, and then just drop your shoulders into position, and let's hold, shoulders up a little higher. For 3, 2, 1, come out of that. That's your shape. Okay. All right?
We're not going to get too much more, but yeah.
Yeah, you'll be fine. So I'll count you in. I'll give you a 5-second countdown, and then just maintain that. Once you're done, you're just going to sit yourself up. Yeah? Cool. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Shoulders up a little higher. Good. I might tell you shoulders up, shoulders down, and just react to that. But now it's on you. Just breathe through it. I'm not going to stare at you in the eyes as you're doing that. That's just that's just weird and off-putting. Nice, dude. Good. Good. So remember, you're in charge, not me. Once you're done with the test, you're just going to sit yourself up. Solid, Luke. Just keep breathing through it. Nice, dude. Good. Solid. Whoa. Good, man. Nice. I should be writing these down, actually. I'll write these down so I can send you a report. So, next little task. Let's have a little look at something that's a little bit more kind of posterior chain dominant. So, again, we're going to use the bench, a little kind of hip extension task. Okay. So, setup-wise, you're going to be on the floor and then find the right angle. Hips and knees, single leg, so bring one leg off. And just think about using maybe a bit of a heel drive to lift this hip up. So think about pulling down to lift the hip up. Yeah, you're gonna be bridging to the ceiling. So head can be nice and relaxed, hands up to your shoulder. I'm looking for this nice straight line, knee, hip, shoulder. Okay. And we're gonna find a tempo that allows you just to perform some work. Yeah, and we take it to a point where I've seen enough. Cool. Yeah, doesn't matter which side you start on. Get yourself set up. So find your right angle. Yeah, scoot in a little bit more, dude. Scoot in a little bit more. Perfect. Hands here, head relaxed. Take a leg off the bench, hold it off the bench, and just think about using this kind of heel drive to lift this right hip up. Good, and then drop down. Let's look to get those hips as tall as we can. Nice, and just keep that cadence, keep that tempo. Solid. Good, nice. Nice, dude, solid. And just keep working. Embrace the fatigue. Yeah, you're good. Nice, dude, hip tall. Good, keep challenging that ability to get that hip fully locked. Yeah, good, nice. Good, keep working. Good, hip tall. Nice. Let's rest there. Cool, little breather. I'm not going to tell you what I'm looking for, but I think you kind of already sort of know. I gave you kind of like this hip tall, so let's take a little breather, do the same again. Scoot back in a little bit, you just lost a little bit of position as you were working through there. Kind of set your 90 degree, and then off you go with your left leg when you're ready. So again, just using that drive of the heel to lift the hip. Nice. Good. Yeah, really focus on just getting the hips nice and tall. Keep the cadence, keep the tempo. Nice. Hip through, Luke, hip through. Cool, nice. Hip through. Cool, let's rest there, seen enough. Did that feel quite different, left and right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Significantly.
In what way? Outside of it just being a little bit more challenging, could you feel a slightly different pattern of movement?
Yeah, it felt like on the right I was really having to push the hip to come up.
Yeah.
And the left, it felt like it was almost just like drawing across almost.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You felt like you had less capability on the left-hand side?
It felt more stable on the left,
okay,
but felt stronger on the right.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. I think you can bring yourself up to your feet now, you can rest. There's a little bit of a difference, and it's very normal. I said we're not symmetrical beings, so it's very normal to see maybe even on a dominant, non-dominant side, this ability to kind of get the hip into full extension.
Yeah.
And there was probably, I'm picking at things, right? I'm picking up on things that I maybe don't even need to pick up on, but there's a little bit of a difference in side to side there. My feedback for you is my feedback would have been pulled down with the heel to lift the hip as opposed to throwing the hip to the ceiling. Okay. So then I suppose from where that movement's coming from. Yeah. So we want it to be from the foot. So the drive of the foot extends the hip as opposed to a little bit of leading with the lower back into hip extension. Yeah. It's very normal for people as you get fatigued to struggle to get into that end range. Yeah. So we just take it at face value. We can do it, no problem. But and actually probably as a good example of, as a cyclist and someone that spends a decent amount of time in a fixed position, you typically don't get into sort of end range hip extension on the bike. So it probably is a decent movement to look at we generally with cyclists anyway, because if we are going through hip extension tasks, it's probably going to do a good thing in terms of if we're lengthening the hamstrings, you're going to get some lengthening of the hamstrings anyway, where we're typically a little bit more restricted in that position, and we just get multiple opportunities to then train that end range hip extension, but nothing major to worry about. Cool. Next one, I'm going to put you on the side, so the side hold. This is a tough hold. Okay. So again, let's take the result with a bit of a pinch of salt. If you get any discomfort, I can always make it a little bit easier. You're going to feel like you're a little bit more unstable with this, but again, I'm going to be your anchor. All right, so setup wise for this, come back onto the bench. I'll be my own anchor, right? So you're going to be here, hips on top, right? You still want your hips in contact with the bench. Right now that hand is holding me up. Yeah. Feet on top of feet, knees on knees, hips on hips, shoulders on shoulders. Two anchor points. I'll be on your mid shin, and I'll be on your thigh, just pressing down here so you're stable. Okay. Just for now, I'll lock myself in here, hand away, and this is my hold position.
So you're above the horizontal?
Yeah, I'm above, and I'm looking to obviously resist this. So I'll just give you some feedback, shoulders up, see if you can hold that position, and then hand down to break your fall once you're done and signed out. Which side you're on? Where's he going to start? Cool, so I'm going to be here. You want to scoot your hips to the top of the bench. I'll just give you a little 1 or 2 second exposure to it, right? So stack your feet, straighten your legs out. Good. And you can almost have a bit of contact into me. So scoot yourself to the back of the bench. I'm going to be here and here, right? So you can feel that you're not going anywhere. Lift the hand up, shoulders up a bit higher, and 3, 2, 1, rest there. That's your position. Yeah? I'll count you in. It's on you, and then just hand out to break your fall once you're out and done with it. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, into position, and breathe through the hold. Good. I might tell you just bring shoulders up a little bit higher. Good. Oh yeah. So hand out to break your fall. Maintain that position. Good, Luke. Nice, solid. Keep going, dude. Nice. I've got you. Not going anywhere. Oh, shoulders high. He's fucking firing up. Let's go. Good, dude. Nice. Shoulders up. Shoulders up. Nice, dude. Good. Yeah, he's solid. He's solid. Nice, dude. Good, man. Nice. It's brutal. You see what I mean about like it being quite unstable?
Oh, yeah, it feels horrible.
Yeah, there's kind of no escape, right? There's kind of no escape. So lateral hold. As I said, like for a lot of people, like they often just can't. They can't, even for quite strong people, they can't literally get a couple of seconds. So that isn't a pure reflection of their ability to create work on that lateral trunk. So we just might need a better drill for them that actually is a bit more of a bit more of an easier test for them. Let's go to the other side. Yeah, so spin yourself around. Again, we'll go straight into this. I'll count you down. So stack the legs, knees on top of knees, hips on top of hips. You can bring yourself to the back, straighten the legs out. Good, feel happy? You can say no, by the way, because I know you're not. Okay, cool, I'm your anchor. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hand off. Good, nice. Keep your shoulders up, looking good. Shoulders, shoulders. Oh dear. Nice. Good, you're a good dude, nice. Strong, good. Yeah, shoulders up. Good dude, quality. Shoulders up. Yeah, nice man, good, good. So again, like, let's just take that with a pinch of salt, and like, there's always going to be some differences, and you don't neglect as well that there's crossover fatigue there. Yeah. Right, so even kind of when you're holding one side, there's still activity occurring on the opposite side. So we just acknowledge that. But again, like the main thing for us is like, if there's glaring differences or just an inability or discomfort with that position, then it's just information and feedback for us. That's all. It's good, nice. Okay, let's have a little look at an inverted row. So just a really basic, simple upper body pulling task. So I kind of gave you some feedback earlier for your push up in terms of kind of what we would ideally look to see. So you might pick up on that during this task as well. So here's your setup. Get yourself underneath the bench, or underneath the bar, I should say. Kind of the middle of your chest, sternum lines up with the middle of the bar. Take about a hand width grip, and we're just going to bring you to a hover. Okay. Right, so hips and upper back off the floor. Touch, long arms. Touch, long arms. Touch, long arms. Cool. Yeah, and just amount of work we can get through until I see a change in position and posture. I'm actually laughing already. So just bring yourself underneath the bar. You can bend your legs, so have your feet towards you. Good, reach out, grab the bar. And when you're ready, just bring your hips and your upper back to a hover off the floor. And then off you go. Let's make our sternum touch the bar, Luke. Yeah, good. So keep the legs a little bit more bent, I reckon, dude. Good, and just keep working. Nice, there you go. Long arms. Good. Solid, dude, nice. Good, sternum. Yeah, good, nice. It's good. Keep working, dude, keep working. Nice, keep working. Cool, I'm gonna get him to rest there. So we actually didn't quite get ourselves organised like right underneath the bar, so actually you ended up a bit behind. Which is fine actually, because we're still getting a pulling demand, right? But probably as you built fatigue there, you probably felt like obviously range of movements being challenging, and also you're finding another way to complete that movement. You probably picked up on the fact that I wanted the hips to rise, right? So again, like just with a basic movement pattern like that, like
we hadn't spoken about that.
yeah, and then you end up with saggy hips and everything else, right? So I've given you a bit of feedback. You probably had that. You've got a bit more of a prior knowledge now. So anyway, it's just a really simple demonstration of just general upper body pulling. We're good. We're good. Basically, we haven't identified anything that's like glaringly obvious. That's you know, you've been able to produce a lot of work through all the tasks so far. A natural consequence of just coming back into the gym and involving you in some training is what happens. We just generally get better at the tasks we put in front of you. So it's just we're chasing just these general abilities to just do more work. Upper body push, upper body pull, lower body strength, all that stuff. It's just as a natural consequence of getting back into training, you just get better at the things you do.
Yeah.
So there's nothing glaringly obvious here in terms of what we're seeing. You've got one more hold position. Done anterior, done lateral, so posterior.
Yeah.
So you're going to be chest down, eyes down towards the floor. Cool. On the bench. Again, I'm going to be anchor. So we've got a little bit of stress being placed on the posterior side, the back side of the body. Yeah. You're in charge here. So setup wise, hips are still on the bench. I'm still here. Legs are going to be straight and I'm going to be anchor. Cool. All right, so just for now, I'll hook myself in. Hands support, hands off, and we're tolerating. Just maybe chin tucked down, and again, shoulders stay above the line of the hips. Cool. Yeah? This is the last bit on this little section, and then we move on. Yeah? So we probably don't need much of a exposure for this. I'm just going to grab the stopwatch, dude. So you're pretty comfortable with this. I think there's a little bit of value, though, in probably just pulling the toes up underneath you like this. Okay. Yeah? And keeping that position. Yeah, so you're just able to pull into the bench a little bit more. So I'll count you in. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands up. Good. Tuck the chin down a little bit and then maintain that position. Good. Remember, you're in charge, Luke, not me. Solid, dude. Good. Nice. Yeah, really good. Nice. Quality. Just about sustaining here. Nice. Keep breathing through the hold. Looking good. Yeah, solid. Good, dude. Nice. Like a statue, stay nice and still. Perfect, man. Good, really good. Shoulders up. Yep, solid. Quality, Luke. Keep working, keep working. Good, dude, nice. Yeah, solid. Good, man. Keep working, keep working. I can't tell the colour of your face right now, so I don't know how hard he's working. Rest, dude, rest, hands down. Hands down. Good job, nice, well done. Good. Was I quite close to getting out on the edge of you stopping? Could you hold that for a little bit more?
I think I could have held a bit more.
I just saw it a little bit moving down towards the floor. It's all good. It's a snapshot. We don't really care about that. We're not trying to get to the absolute nth degree, the 10th of a second. I just care about like just your ability to tolerate that. Yeah, really good. Like obviously you feel that kind of stress, calf, hamstring, glute, lower back. Again, I didn't coach you into a different position. Yeah. It's not wrong, it's just different. Oh. Like, yeah, there's just there's a little bit more kind of extension for you at the lower back. But again, those holds can be whatever we want them to be. Yeah. So if we were trying to do a hold where I'm trying to place a little bit more direct loading on the lower back, I'd want that. Yeah. Right? I'd want to open up here. If I want to get a little bit more stress below the belt line, I'd need to tuck under a little bit more. Yeah. Right? So that actually there's less extension going on here and there's more work being placed, let's say from the hips down, but it's all good. Great, really good. So as I said, like nothing really, we just take all of those results with a pinch of salt. Yeah. So it's quite an easy thing to check back in with. You can obviously repeat this kind of assessment session later down the line, and then you've got a bit of validation in terms of maybe what's happening with training as well. But recognize as well that a lot of the improvements in results is skill. Okay, cool. So Luke, we're going to move on to a nice little objective measure of a little bit of an insight into kind of your maximal force producing ability. So we're going to use the force plate, which are basically like really elaborate weighing scales. This is a really simple kind of risk averse measure for us. So really simple position, we'll cover the basis again. First thing we're actually going to get you to do is actually we're just going to take your scale weight, just step onto the plates and just come to a nice even rest. Yeah, just hang out there for a few seconds. Cool, perfect, cool. So I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's have a little run through with Luke about this mid-thigh position because it's something you've not done this before, right? So I just want you to build a little bit of familiarity with what the task feels like and the angles you're going to be in. So first of all, we call it like an overcoming ISO. We're essentially producing work against an immovable object, and then we're going to get a bit of insight into what you're doing and delivering down into the force plate here. So your setup is going to be Probably take a bit of a mixed grip and over and under grip. Bring yourself onto the plate, bring the bar out and hook it underneath. And bring yourself to this kind of like bent position where your shoulders are covering your hips, but you've got some flexion and some bend in the lower body. Okay. So that should feel a really powerful position to start to apply force in. I'll give you a little nudge. I'll say, Luke, get yourself ready. And then I'll count you down. 3, 2, 1. And then can you produce some work? Yeah?
Not as much as that.
Well, maybe. Not quite ant power, right? But like, yeah, right? Let's do a little 50% trial run again. You're probably going to feel like the bar's leaving your hands. If you want to use some chalk to just dry your hands out, we can use that later on. It doesn't really matter which hand's over and under. We can play around with it as well. But the main thing is locked in. So you're static, you're locked in to start. And then when I count you down, 3, 2, 1, just deliver work into the floor. You can think about it as a push and a pull, a bit of a joint thing. We'll do a little 50%er to start, right? Just a little practice run. So grab yourself an over and under grip, bring yourself down and hook it underneath. Good, so really close to the body here. Organise yourself where your shoulders are covering your hips and just organise yourself where you feel nice and strong. Do you feel ready? You tell me when?
Yeah.
Good, 3, 2, 1. Push, 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 and rest there. Nice. Bring your bar back out. Nice. Take a little breather. So we'll do that again for real. 3 attempts, 2 to 3 attempts. Usually we naturally get a bit of a drop off. If you're actually having it as a maximum exertion, you can't produce maximal work continuously, right? So 2 or 3 attempts really is usually enough for us to get, and we'll take the best result of today. I'll get you to stand off the plates to start and then go into it. Yeah, and then go into it. Cool. So just think, yeah, tight start, get my position and just produce work. I'll just go the same again. Luke, get yourself set. 3, 2, 1, start to work. Yeah? Cool. Right, bring yourself onto the plates when you're ready, dude. Yep. In fact, just step off the plates, Luke, and then back on. Sorry, dude. Okay. Yeah, and then step onto the plates when you're ready. And just grab the bar, hook it underneath. Yeah, and just get yourself organised where you feel nice and solid, nice and strong. You tell me when you're set. Okay. Luke, ready? 3, 2, 1. Push, dude, push, 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 push. Lift the rack, lift the rack, lift the rack, lift the rack. Rest there. Oh, you stopped. Good. Nice, dude. Rest. Good. Take a bit of a breather. Good. So we're 2-3 minutes. It's hard, right? Because you're searching for leverage. Yeah. Right? But just stay in that static position and just keep applying work into it. Again, like as I said, a lot of the result is skewed a little bit with the skill and the execution. Yeah. But just try and make that a nice static position. And you can feel like the bar wants to leave your hands, right? So with people that do get to a point where they're actually producing a lot of force and the grip is the limiting factor, will probably, wrap their hands, strap their hands into the bar. So actually what you'll get in is a bit more of an exposure to the work of the lower body there. Yeah. Give yourself a little breather, grab some water if you need. And then we can, I should have got you to stand onto the plates to start with. We'll do 2 more runs. And then after the next one, I'll bring you into the laptop and you can have a little look at what's going on. Remember, it's very normal to see, so obviously we're getting left side and right side read out here. Yeah. It's very normal to see those lines spread apart as you naturally dominate a little bit more with the stronger side. It might look like the lines are really far apart, but in terms of relative kilos of force, it might not be that much. Yeah. As I said, if we see this huge spread, it might just be a line of inquiry as to why the right side might be doing 80% or whatever it is. Yeah? Tell me when you're set. Good? Yeah? Right, get yourself organised on the plates to start with. And same again. Yeah, get yourself organised underneath. Just catch it. And then Luke, get yourself set when you're ready. So try and maintain your shoulders over your hips. Tell me when you're set. Luke, 3, 2, 1. Push, dude. Push, 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 push. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Push, push. Rest there. Nice, man. Good. So actually, if I shift that a little bit and I overlay that, because obviously this is the work where all of the stuff that happened before this was you getting onto the plate. Yeah. So if I try and overlay it from there, select all, take that away. I can't bring that. Well, yeah, but you can actually pretty much see. So this was your first run. So obviously it happened much later on. So the dark blue line is your right leg. Yeah. And the light blue line is your left leg. And then this was your second run. Green line is your right leg. Actually, the peaks are pretty similar. You can probably, you're pretty much not too far from identical there. that's kind of a normal thing with someone that's not, let's say, or hasn't had a more recent exposure to training. So you're just able to get to whatever you've got across both sets. If we see that on the third one, we probably know that we've achieved actually a bit of a ceiling. Probably. So with people that maybe have a higher ceiling, or you might see this potentiation effect of more sets. So you get this bit of a knock-on effect from the nervous system, basically waking up and being able to produce work and fire in a more efficient manner with more repetition. So people that have a higher ceiling, we might see their first attempt is a little bit of a warmer upper, and then you get this little bit of a training effect off each previous rep, or each previous attempt, where they're actually starting to really dial up into their peak output. But if we see the same again, it's nothing wrong with that. It's just that's probably a true reflection of the fact that that might actually be a decent exposure or a decent understanding of that's where your ceiling is. Also, you can already feel like the grip is becoming a limiting factor, right? So that's actually, in that case, an understanding of why we're not going beyond that point as well. You ready for one more? Yeah? Let's do it, man. Let's get yourself set. Right, lift it up. Break my bar. I've got insurance. Break my bar. That's your challenge, dude, right? Tell me when you're set. Get yourself organised. Just bring that, just catch it. Just bring it up. Well done, dude. Nice. Right, powerful. Ready, Luke? Ready? 3, 2, 1. Come on, dude. Come on. Push, 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 push. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Push, push, push. Rest there. Nice, man. Good. Good. Rest there. Again, like this is 3 and 4. So this is your second and third attempt here. So run 4, which is run 3. Your blue line is your left leg. That light green line, and you can again see there's a good example of all of those lines are quite close. So it's probably just a reflection of that is you're not getting a potentiation effect off there, and that actually might be quite close to your ceiling on that. So as we hopefully go through training process and we develop a deeper pool of max strength, you might see that if you to repeat this, you warm up to it, right? As your body starts to fire up a little bit more. Good, rest there. Cool. Right, let's have a little look at your jumps, dude. So Luke, we're taking that mid-thigh pull, which is your kind of static observation and snapshot into kind of your maximal force producing abilities. And then we're just going to give you a little dynamic task. We're going to give you 2 jump variations where we're just looking at the relationship between those 2 jumps and what happens. One's a static jump. So we're going to get you to sink into what hopefully will feel like a decent jumping position. Hold for 3, 2, 1, launch out of there to a vertical jump. So we're removing all momentum from there. So actually that should become a more muscular effort jump. Then we let the brakes off a little bit. We just get you to stand on the plates and we get you to use what we call like a counter movement, which is this rapid lowering, rapid reversal into a vertical jump. I'll give you a little demo to start. Cool. We'll do 3 jumps of each. We'll start with our static jump, our squat jump. Hands on hips for all jumps. The reason we just want to eliminate all potential arm swings so that what we're getting is a little bit of a more purer exposure to the work of the lower body here. When it comes back to feeding this back to you, we'll look at the relationship between the static and the dynamic jump, and we should expect, I won't tell you what we're going to expect actually, because otherwise that's going to skew your result a little bit, but we look at the relationship between the static and the dynamic, and then we also look at the relationship between your maximal ability in that static task and the jump height of your dynamic, of your counter movement based jump as well. And that will give you a little index score as well, something that we can just keep a track of. And it might give us a little bit of an insight into potential training avenues as well. Does that make sense? Yep. Cool. So I don't need to go over there for now. Let me demonstrate squat jump. All right. So you're just going to get yourself organized wherever you feel comfortable, hands on the hips. Yeah. You're going to descend to a depth where ultimately you feel you can launch up the highest from. Hold for 3, 2, 1, launch out. I've got your count. Okay. So I'll just go, Luke, get yourself set, sink, 3, 2, 1, and launch out of there. Yeah? Sweet. That's your static jump. Counter movement jump is going to be with a little bit of a counter movement. So this really rapid eccentric, this rapid lowering phase, and then this rapid reversal. So again, I'll just go same cues again. Hands on your hips. Just get yourself nice and set. And this is just going to be go whenever you're ready. So we'll just go here to there. Cool. Make sense? Yeah. We'll take a little bit of time between each rep, and we'll probably go 3 reps each side. Okay. What I'll do with you now, but just while we're off the force plates, we'll just do 1 rep of both, so you get a bit of a feel for it.
Yeah.
And then we'll come onto the floor plates and get it going. So squat jump to start with, hands on your hips, just organize your feet where you feel comfortable. Whenever you're ready, Luke, you're gonna sink down and hold for a 3 count and then headbutt the ceiling, launch up, be aggressive. 3, 2, 1, go. Nice, dude. Feel happy with your techers there? Nothing much to it, just be nice and aggressive. We say intent matters. So jumping out of that static hold, just be as powerful and aggressive as you can.
Yeah.
Let's try our counter movement. So same idea, hands on the hips, but this time you're basically going to go when you're ready.
Yeah.
Think about really rapidly lowering into that jump or pulling yourself into the ground and then reversing it into the sky. Yeah? So on you whenever you're ready. Nice, dude. Perfect. Happy with both variations?
Yeah.
Cool. We'll go 3 squat jumps to start. Take about a minute, 30 seconds between each one, and then we'll do 3 counter movements. And again, we're just looking at taking the best score out of that. I've not really spoken about like the landing stuff. I can give you a little bit of feedback. Just basically land in a position where you feel you can take off again.
Yeah.
So obviously, I'll give you some feedback after each one. Yeah?
Sweet.
So, Luke, you can step onto the plates when you're ready, dude. So, squat jump to start, all right?
Okay.
Luke, lower yourself when you're ready. 3, 2, 1, go! Nice, dude. Jump yourself off. Good, perfect. Oh, solid. Just chase the output, right? Chase the output. So we'll go about 30 seconds rest and stuff like that. Have you done much jump stuff before? Right.
No.
So what we always say to people is everything we do in a weight room is just an expression of force.
Yeah.
Some tasks require us to produce force over much broader, longer time frames. So if we're doing a deadlift, you've got quite a lot of time.
Yeah.
In a jump, you don't have that luxury, right? Because exactly, it's about the work. It's about how much work you can produce in the shortest time frame. Yeah. So you need an exposure to basically it all. So basically, what you'll learn in training is that we need an exposure to some moderate to heavy lifting. We need an exposure to some lifting with light loads, and we need some exposure to you becoming the implement that we're trying to move, right? The projectile. So it all matters. There's nothing that's more important than one other thing, if that makes sense. So I think you want an exposure to all of those things to build this really broad base of athleticism. Ready?
Yeah. Nice.
Onto the plates when you're ready. Tell me when you're set. Hands on your hips. Right, lower. 3, 2, 1, go! Yes, nice. Good. Nice, dude. Good, right?
Yeah.
I think the downside with like the force plate stuff, so there's some really cool tech that gives you immediate feedback on jump height.
Yeah.
So we can't do that right now on the force plate. When we extrapolate it, we'll get the readout. But there's nothing more motivating than seeing the measure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? If you jump higher than the first jump, then you know that was a better jump, right? So it's almost like there's probably some things that I think that's a helpful driver of output.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to say anything, right? You just naturally see the number. See the number, boom, you've got to beat it.
Yeah.
That's your competition. Ready for one more?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Step on when you're ready. And you're leading the way, Luke, whenever you're ready. Nice, dude. Good job. Perfect. Cool. Yeah, I think if I give you information, it's a conscious thing that you'll then focus on.
Yeah.
So I think probably in the first exposure, in just this assessment session, it's better to just let the person lead with the strategy they want.
Yeah.
And then we can give them feedback. Because the moment I start to give feedback, you'll think it.
Yeah.
And in a dynamic task, all right, I can give you some feedback here because you've got a bit more time to kind of, well, you've got more time to produce force. Here you haven't. And the moment there's a hesitation is the moment that we actually lose the ability to be expressive.
Yeah.
Yeah? So same again. Cool. On you when you're ready. Be aggressive. Nice. Good, dude. Nice. Last test we're going to do with Luke, we're going to get him to perform a little 3-minute watt bike test. And the reason we get to do this is basically to look at the effectiveness of the aerobic system or the ability of the aerobic system to tolerate work and then recover from that work. So a 3-minute test is a bit of an all-out effort for Luke. We're going to ask him to try and empty the tank. So probably every stage minute, just try and make a little bit of a jump.
Okay.
Cadence stays the same, so we want you definitely above 70, potentially above 80 RPM, but you're trying to get to a point where it's a bit of a max effort for us. We immediately look at heart rate post, and then we look at heart rate post 1 minute. I'm just going to get you to stay on the bike, so you stay static after your 3 minutes. And we're just looking at the number of beats dropped across that time frame, which just gives us a really raw indication of the aerobic system's ability to tolerate that work and then recover from that work. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah? Cool. So we're just going to I'll be a little bit of an encouragement, but we're just going to get you set up here with a test, 3 minute aerobic. I'm not going to enter like those metrics, will be good. So basically you're going to see the task bar start to cycle over a little bit, tick over a little bit, and now we're in. Yeah. So let's raise this to 70, definitely over 70, potentially 80.
90 to 100.
Wherever you feel comfortable. Basically, like just make a staged increase after your minute, and then just try and get to a point where you feel like you've emptied the tank a little bit. Nice. Good, Luke. Solid, dude. Nice. Yeah, so I probably could have set the resistance a little higher. So your cadence is going to be quite high, but that's maybe my lesson out of this. Yeah, just stay at 100. Nice. Solid, dude. Nice. Well done. Yeah, we probably should have set the resistance a bit higher. We'll see if we can chase maybe 105 for the last minute. Good, dude. Nice. Solid, Luke. Nice. Maintain that. Quality, dude. Nice. Well done. Good. Nice, man. Perfect. Well done. Good. So again, if you feel like there's a bit more to give, start to empty the tank in the last minute. Might be on the money here though, right? Good job, last minute. Push. Good, Luke. Quality. Just dig in now. Come on. Nice, man. Good. Quality work, Luke. Let's go. Come on. Yeah, stay at 100. Perfect. It's good work, dude. Nice. Quality. Dig in, dig in, dig in. Come on. Let's go. Nice. Empty the tank. Let's go. 10 seconds. Solid work, dude. Nice. Nice, dude. Quality. Okay, back yourself off. Just give me a little heart rate if there's a little bit of a delay on that. That's not your heart rate, dude. There's no way that's not your heart rate. See if there's a delay.
It's not picking up, true.
Not yet.
About 140, 145-ish now.
You were at 170, 30 beats or so. I mean, that's we're just going on his own subjective feedback, but I think anything that, is over 30 beats minutes for a minute's recovery is a pretty strong indication that aerobic system's in a pretty healthy place. And we'd expect that anyway with Luke, who's spends a lot of time on the bike anyway. We're done, dude. Get yourself out. Good. All good?
Nice.
Cool, so it was really great to take Luke through today's session. As I said, this is our entry point into coaching here at Perma. So some of those tests were purely subjective, where we're just looking to gain a bit of a coaching insight into some movement quality, and then also your ability to tolerate work across tasks. And then some objective tasks was a bit of a new exposure for you as well, which is good to check back in with, and then you can get quite creative with your objective measures using a force plate where we can lean into tests that are a little bit more specific to positions and postures seen in that person's sport. So I mentioned to Luke earlier, if we're looking at a little bit more of a indicative test of maybe cycling, we might look to get into a little bit more of a single leg kind of squat push type movement, and then we can again look at what the work you're doing or the ability to produce work in that position there. So yeah, this has been a good insight into what an entry level coaching session looks like here at Perma.